So in this video we are doing a location scout. If you have seen the Peter Jackson movie The Frighteners, then you will recognize these locations. The Frighteners came out in 1996, directed by Peter Jackson, and we're going to go see a couple of the locations because they are here in my city, Christchurch. We are going to go see the graveyard, which appears in the opening credits and probably about half an hour into the movie. And we're going to see the restaurant, and the restaurant is the location where the guy gets his heart crushed and it happens in the toilet, and then Frank Bannister runs on the outside of the hotel to find the bad guy, ghost, whatever the hell his name is. It's been a long time since I've seen the movie. And you see the outside of that restaurant, and that is here up on the hills. So off we go. We're on the way to Lyttelton. Now in the movie The Frighteners, the town that the story takes place in was called Fairwater, if I am correct. You see the sign there? Lyttelton, that's the real name, Lyttelton. And we're stuck behind a truck. Fantastic. Don't you just love being stuck behind a truck? So, in order to get to Lyttelton from Christchurch, because Lyttelton, I mean, if you look at the movie, it's basically inside a dormant volcano, and in order to get to this dormant volcano, you've got to go either over the mountain via the summit road or through the tunnel. We are going through the tunnel. Everybody goes through the tunnel. The tunnel is fast, cheap as in $0. It doesn't cost anything. Now in the movie The Frighteners, there are two critical scenes that happen, that take place, which take place in the graveyard, and that is the graveyard that we are going to find. And I don't know what we're going to find when we get there, because what we might find is that it doesn't match the movie. You know, we might find that they've dressed up the movie quite a lot with, you know, tombstones and those steel cages and gates and stuff like that. But what we're looking for is, if the graveyard doesn't perfectly match the movie, then what we're sort of looking for instead is the background, the establishing background shots, because those will not have changed at all. But we'll see. There's also like a big tree, and there are some distinctive tombstones seen in the film, and we won't know until we get there how much of those things are still there. So let me know in the comments, have you got a filming location in your backyard? You know, something that was in your backyard that you've maybe videotaped, or that you just know is there and you've seen, that has been in a movie. Let me know in the comments. I'd be quite interested to know. And we're about to go in the tunnel. Hello, Lyttelton Tunnel. Park lights on. Alright, I found the graveyard. Had a little bit of driving around to find it. Yeah, it's way up the top of Canterbury Street, if you're a local and you're going to come here. It's up the top of Canterbury Street. Oh, this is exciting. I've just found the establishing shot from the opening credits. Now down here where I'm about to show you, there's kind of an accessible like road. Right now it's just grass, but back when they filmed it they put like cobblestones, or there were cobblestones there. And the real distinctive part is this, what do you call it, like cage around this kind of broken tombstone. So at the time there was either a tree there as well, or they dressed it up with a tree. So I'm going to mimic the opening shot here. As the camera tracks to the left, and it tracks close right here to the stone, and then it turns a little bit right here. We've sort of got this other one here, and it stops right about here where Michael J. Fox is walking off to the left. And we've got our shot from roughly this angle here. This is Frank Bannister attending the funeral and trying to give out his business cards. You can tell because that's the same tree and that's the same mountain in the background, and it's from this spot, and we've got this big grassy area here, which is where they had their funeral. And from right here we've got Frank Bannister getting frustrated and throwing his business cards into the air. And right here we've got Frank Bannister helping him get out of the grave and then talking to him, being observed by the cop. And we swing around to this kind of cage thing around this one. We've got this distinctive white tombstone here. Okay, here's a shot that I can't do because it's directly at the camera. But if you look at the left hand side there, we've got that distinctive tombstone amongst the square cage. And we've got that line that the car is on. We've got that line that the car is on, and we've got all of these kind of like black and white style tombstones along that road there. So here's our cage, and this is why it's difficult for me to film, because the sun is shining directly into the lens here. There's our cage, and here are our tombstones going all the way up, and this is our road where the car was sitting right here. The Lord lift up his countenance upon him and give him peace. That's the tree. Because there's basically only one tree in this whole graveyard. That's the one. I think I discovered the part where they cheated. So there's one part in this graveyard scene where Arlie Ermey's character comes out and he's got his guns and he's like, "Frank Bannister, you cannot push spirits around." All this kind of stuff. And I've been looking all over this graveyard. Where is that spot? That spot, it ain't here. Now when you look at the clip, what you can see is, you can see these kind of angled coffins, lots of crosses, and this great big stone mausoleum that he comes out of. That spot, it ain't here. I've looked all over the place. Furthermore, there are steps. Those steps, they ain't here. I thought maybe that those steps were here, but I don't think so. Because immediately to the left of those steps, you've got one of those stone tombs with the with all of the steel fencing around it. And this steel fencing here is different from what you see in the movie. Lastly, when I examine the clip, I see this kind of green hills in the background, and that was a giveaway. They've cheated. They've used another graveyard. That's the only explanation, because those steps ain't here. That steel cage ain't here, that stone mausoleum ain't here, or nothing resembling it. Those angled coffins, they ain't here. All of the crosses that you see everywhere, they ain't here. And lastly, when Arlie Ermey comes walking along here, and he's walking down this row after Frank Bannister, he's immediately changed from where those angled coffins and that mausoleum were to here. And then down to the gravesite over there. So they cheated. They used another graveyard. Unfortunately, don't know where that graveyard is. But that was the part that I was really hoping to find today. But it's not here. It's not here. Anyway, we shall move along and we will head over to the restaurant. And the restaurant, it's called the Takahe restaurant. It happens, the restaurant scene happens immediately after the graveyard scene, which is about half an hour into the movie. And we're going to head over there now, and I know that it's been closed for years because of earthquake repairs, so I'm not sure what shape it's going to be in when we get there. We will find out. I got a bad feeling about this. It's a ute with dogs in the back. Check it out. Hello. Hello. Hi. Lovely to see you. Are you enjoying your ride? Here's the incredibly dangerous intersection of Hackthorn Road and Dyers Pass Road. A very dangerous intersection. You've got to really look around. And we're nearly here. Coming up on your right hand side is the Sign Of The Takahe restaurant, and it looks like it's covered in bloody scaffolding. Fuck's sakes, that is going to make it very difficult to videotape this restaurant. Man, I knew this place was getting repaired, but jeez. Okay, so why does this building look like this today? I assure you, it is in fact the same building. If you look closely, you can see the crenellations on the top there. You can see those medieval coat of arms kind of behind that blue scaffolding stuff, the blue netting. This is the exact same building that Frank Bannister runs out of when he's chasing the ghost to find out where the ghost is going. Why does this building look like this now? Well, in 2011, this city, Christchurch, New Zealand, had a whole bunch of earthquakes. And in 2012, more earthquakes. And it kept on going for a couple of years. And a lot of buildings like this, like old historic stone buildings and stuff, they just got damaged. And they got shut down, and you know, they postponed the repairs for years and years until, you know, the earthquakes have sort of stopped. And it's only really now that this place is actually getting restored. So this is the place. And it doesn't look anything like it did in the movie. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'd like to show you more locations, but some of the locations for Peter Jackson's The Frighteners were not filmed here. They were filmed overseas. And other locations that were filmed here are not so easy to recognize, not so easy to find. Anyway, we'll see you next time. If you like the video, leave a comment and subscribe.